Hello, my name is Chris. Um, they call me Happy Hillbilly. Uh, I'm going to start some videos, and I want to. Maybe I better move that back. There. Hello, my name's Chris. You can call me Happy Hillbilly. I've never done this before, so I'm trying for the first time, but I'd like to do more. There's a I like to look at old things, old buildings and everything. And where I live here in Kentucky, there's an old barn that video was about. And it's a guy's the man that built it was James Robert Mackey, and he died in 1904. That he was my wife's great grandfather. I got a video I'll show you. I'll put on here where I went up to it and talked about it. And I got some more things I'd like to do, more videos, and see how this goes out and see if anybody even looks at it. I don't know if they will or not, but if they do, that'll be good. And I got, I want to do my side of the family, her side, different things, and maybe even in the future be talking about some things I remember as growing up as a kid and things. And a lot of it's for my family, so when I'm gone, they can look back on it and see in my memories. And because there's a lot of things like James Robert. Uh, he was called Jim Bob's what everybody called him, but he died when he was 55 years old, and that's awful early, awful young to die. We always wonder why somebody died, but we don't have a clue. There's no records that we have found yet of any cause, and we don't know if it was an accident, if he was sick. We just don't know. But, he put his mark on this ground, and we're going to try to say a few things about him, show his barn. He owned a lot of property right here. He was born to Margaret Jane Floyd in 1869. I got it wrote down here, is what I'm looking. Uh, yeah, they were married in 1869, and they moved there, and um, he had three kids. He had a daughter named Lily, and I don't know a whole lot about her, but maybe in the future we'll find out more. Then there was Joseph, Joe Mackey. That's my wife's grandfather. And then he had a younger brother named Solly, Garfield Mackey. And they both lived right next to each other their whole lives just about. They they went off. Joe and Solly they worked the farms. They got their land from uh, Jim Bob, split his property up with his kids, and they did good things with it. They raised big families and farmed and took care of the land. They did good things. Uh, you know, we forget about people a lot. We just think about the rush of today, and we're right in the middle of listening to this awful war in Ukraine, and we pray for all them people over there. And it's a sad thing, and I'm here, maybe put a little light in, maybe give somebody a little break from reality and of today, and maybe we can go into the past and look on things. And but today's about Jim Bob, James Robert Mackey. And he was 55 and when he died, 1904, and he had a he had a big spot. And back then they couldn't go to the store shopping. They couldn't do anything like that. Everything they had, they grew, and I'm sure what they couldn't grow, they would grow and trade off for. I know that's what my grandpa told me, that when he was a kid, his dad would had a big orchard and apples, and then he grew a lot of berries and things, and he would load his wagon up and take off, and he'd stay gone until everything was sold, and then they would raise hogs, and the best parts of the hogs was traded off so the kids could get shoes and things. Things ain't like that anymore. I'd like to everybody enjoy this, and hopefully you'll see it, and things will come a little clearer for the families, and they'll enjoy seeing it. But there'll be more, and I hope that people will see this and like it, and not criticize me too much. I'm a greenhorn. I'm not educated man. I'm a worker. Just I'm on disability now from an accident, and but I got to make some time. So I'd like everybody to watch and enjoy. Let me know what you think. Thank you. This is the barn of James Robert Mackey. It's probably over 150 years old. I know they called him Jim Bob, and that was what everybody called him. He built this barn right here, and you can tell that it's old, especially the bottom half with the logs and things. Jim Bob was born October 28th in 1848. Died August 14th, 1904. He was just 55 years old. I don't know, the man must have worked himself to death or something. He's pretty young. But you can see all the work on this barn. The logs, everything's hand hewed, these timbers. Cut down by hand and hewed with an axe. You can see the marks, some of them right here a little bit. You'll see some more. And I know the boards are old. Some of these boards, you can see that they got elongated nail holes, which shows me that those were old cut nails. So you can see them right there. And they had taken something apart that was nailed with them and put the other ones in. Redid this door stuff. And it's still in use today. They still keep animals in it. And it's in good shape for the shape it's in. So you can see the hatchet marks, axe marks on that one. It's a nice old barn. I wanted to get pictures of it before it fell down. Been here a long, long time. It might be here long before longer than us. But I looked at it and drive by it all the time, and thought, well, heck, I'll videotape it. That way it'll have, other generations that come will be able to see it and knows whose it was. See, those are sprit rails. Look at the axe marks in that from chopping. And they still use right here. There's nothing in here right now, but there has been. They got a water trough right there, and they got hay laid down, and they've been using it. But it's a neat looking old barn. He married Margaret Jane Floyd in March 8th in 1869. And that was probably when they moved there, was living there. When this was built, pretty close probably to there. They they had 3 kids. Jim Bob and Margaret did. The first one was Lily, Carolee Mackey Graves, and Joseph Joe Mackey, and Solomon Garfield Mackey. Joseph was my wife's grandfather. So this Jim Bob's, this was her great grandfather. And I'm sure they put their time in down here too. I don't know exactly when they were born and stuff, but he was still alive. I know that. But I'm sure they all worked on this. When he died, he split it up before, so Joe and Solomon got equal parts in that, and Lily, I don't know if she got any parts or not. I really don't know. Somebody says she left the country. She died in the 40s, so I'm not real sure. Margaret, Jim Bob's wife, she died. She was born in 1852, and she died in 1907. So just 3 years apart. And it's a funny thing. Both of them was 55 years old when they died. So it was a hard life. I don't know if they caught something, smallpox or something, that a lot of people died from stuff like that back then. And you didn't just go to the doctor or run to the hospital. You didn't even go to Walmart. You had to eat. You had to grow your food and take care of it, butcher. There was no Walmart, no nothing then. You didn't get to go to Kroger or any of that stuff. But, see, this is nice. I mean, it's a nice barn. It served its purpose and still serving a purpose today. They've upgraded stuff like the roof. You can tell that roof is not too old, but they've taken care of it. That's why it's still there, I guess. You can see where they notched out for the logs from them corners. And see, these were split rail. And once this side was a lot of hewn logs, and the other side was just small logs that they found or cut down. It looks to me like either side was built in different times or something. See, if you look back over on this other side over here, most of the logs are just small round logs, but there's a few that towards the bottom, see there, that's been hewed and chopped. But a lot of them are smaller logs. There was a lot of air holes, but you know, they had cattle in there. They didn't have to try to keep themselves warm in there. Their house was across the road, and it was an old house, and it's gone now. There's a few log houses on Flat Creek here in Knox County, Kentucky that I remember, and I ain't even been here that long. And I remember me and Shirley walked through one of them, and it's all gone. They tore it down. I think they took the logs, they disassembled it and took it down to Tennessee somewhere to put it back up in one of them museum places. But there's a lot more, and there's another few places we're going to do the same thing as we did with this barn. As soon as we can. I'm really new at this, and I hope I can come across, maybe get better at it. But you can see this one side here, the right side, it's a lot of just round logs. On the other side, they were hewn logs, bigger trees. They look down through the field and you see the road way back in there. And past our car down there, you see a white house. That's where the old house was at, the original one. So, well, I hope you enjoyed that. I about hope it comes out all right and everybody does enjoy it.